am so excited to give you a very warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining our segment today. Thank you for joining our webinar. And I am super excited because I get to talk about one of my favorite places on earth. And with that, I just want to do a couple of housekeeping rules. Number one, please check your audio, make sure that you can hear us. And also be sure to mute your audio so that you can also hear our speakers clearly. And most importantly, this is a very positive platform and we present a lot of very positive information. And so we do expect all of our audience to remain very, very positive. We do ask that if you want to do introductions with your information, you wait towards the end and primarily use the chat for any questions that you may have. And that way we can address them towards the end as well, or we can simultaneously answer some of the ones that come in during our presentation. So if you are wanting to learn about global business transactions, you are in the right channel. This is your webinar. If you are wondering what it takes to actually own a vacation home, then you are in the right place. And for anybody that's out there that is a real estate agent or works in real estate, welcome to your new source of income. In the next hour, you are going to explore some of the most stunning beaches on earth, and you are going to have access to some of the most exclusive real estate opportunities in the Riviera Maya. And for that, we have our strategic partners on the line. I'm Mexico. Talisa Tarcia and Laura Guillen are going to do a wonderful job at helping us explore some of these opportunities. And in order to make it a reality, if you want to learn how to make this a reality, we have hoo.global Consulting, my very own business partner and brother, Spencer who will be talking about that. And again, towards the end, we will have 15 minutes for questions and answers. Next, please. And I am your host and moderator. My name is Denise Macias, and I live in the beautiful state of Idaho. For those of you that live in Idaho, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for those of you that have not visited Idaho, I encourage you to visit in the autumn. It is the best time of year. I think that's my favorite season, in the fall. So please welcome to Idaho. And I help clients purchase and sell real estate around the globe. I have over 10 years of professional experience in this field, and I have specialized in the import and export of products and services. I have helped carry out successfully relocations for corporates in the United States, out in Asia, and I have work experience in many countries around the world. And more than anything, I'm really happy to be a part of your journey. Next, please.
Good morning, good afternoon, friends. My name is Spencer Hu. For those that don't know me, I am based in Southern California in Orange County, also a coastal location. I've been in real estate business about actually 20 years this year, so quite a while. About half of it has been with a global focus. So we have focused both with inbound real estate purchase and investment, and then more recently, with this call, of course, with outbound. So buyers here in the US and Canada purchasing outside of US and Canada. And I've had the honor to be involved with several different real estate organizations, both local, state, and nation level, and have been past speaker or interviewed by several organizations, as the slide is shown here. Something that Denise did not mention, we are doing basically a regular schedule. So we will be doing one of these presentations once a month on Mexico, on different topics, different projects. We may have special guests as far as lending within Mexico or what the exact closing process is. So we will get in depth with some of those topics. And then we will be starting up a separate webinar track, basically everything else global. So everything that is not Mexico. So kind of other great locations across the world, whether that's Europe, whether that's Caribbean, whether that's Central America, whether that's Southeast Asia. So we are working on getting that set up for all of you as audience as well.
So Spencer and I take a lot of pride in our annual Mexico real estate investment tour. And for those of you, if you enjoyed today's session and you've enjoyed our conversations, this is an opportunity for you to witness firsthand everything that we speak about. We do a week-long stay in the Riviera Maya, and we visit Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum. And we walk investments starting 130,000 up to the $1 million marker, depending on what our audience is needing. And we do customize it. We put together packages that include hotel stay, transportation, to and from the airport, the tours, fun activities, and also select meals. But I think what's best to highlight is not only do you get a chance to walk these investments, but you also have some very high level networking opportunities. So please join us this year again. It's always in October, the week before Halloween. So if you don't have it in your plans, add it to your plans and join us. Alrighty, and with that, let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about a Luge 33, and I'm going to hand it over to Talisa to make that introduction and take it away with the presentation.
Hi, Denise. Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Greetings from sunny Riviera Maya. I'm Talisa Tarsia. I'm an architect and realtor representing today Mexico Real Estate. We are a master broker in Playa del Carmen with projects all over Riviera Maya. We have been on the market for 15 years, so we are probably one of the best brands here in the area. Today, we're going to be looking at, in general, a little bit of Riviera Maya, why it's so interesting, why it's getting the attention of a lot of investors from all over the world. And also, we're going to be focusing together with my colleague Laura here with us today on a specific project in Puerto Morelos called Luge 33, which is a very interesting option that we have to offer to your investors. I'm going to be sharing a quick presentation of Riviera Maya so we can have a look together at this beautiful destination and why, and get to understand why it's so interesting. Feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions in the meantime. I don't mind to be more of a chat. So first of all, where are we on the map? So Riviera Maya is located on the Caribbean coast of Mexico. We are right in front of Cuba. We are 15 minutes away from Miami. Why is so attractive? First of all, for its connection. So it's so well connected with all the most important international airports, both from North America, South America, Europe, all over the world, I would say. Cancun is probably one of the best connected airports, receiving millions of tourists every year. And that makes us stand out compared to other destinations like, for example, Los Cabos, Baja California, which is also another famous destination in Mexico. This makes us always in the top 5 and top 10 of the most visited countries in the world with impressive numbers. We closed 2024 with 33 million of airport passengers, which is a very impressive number. The majority of tourists that travel to Mexico and Riviera Maya, is interesting to notice that 71% are international visitors. Only 28% are domestic visitors. Number 1, obviously, United States, and after that, Canada, France, and United Kingdom. Why all these tourists are visiting Riviera Maya? Obviously, for its natural beauties. We have amongst the most beautiful Caribbean beaches in the world, a very diverse range of entertainment options. We are top number 1 in terms of amusement parks. We have so many attractions, so many things to do. Obviously, all the activities like snorkeling, visiting heritage cultural sites. It makes it very, very attractive for people from all over the world. All this translates in very interesting numbers. So Tulum and Cancun are always amongst the top 10 most visited destinations in the world and in Mexico, making one of the best spots in the world. Is not only interesting for tourists, it's also very interesting for people that are thinking about moving to Mexico and changing their life for a sunny and more laid-back destination. Here they find the perfect spot. So just here a couple of news that we found on the web. So Mexico is among the 20 most popular home buying destination for Canadians. We have a lot of people from the Canadian market and from the United States wanting to retire in Mexico because it's a more affordable lifestyle. Obviously, the fact of having sunny weather all year round, helps a lot. And so it makes it a very interesting destination for those wanting to move to a different country and change their life. All these numbers and the constant affluence of tourists also translates obviously in people wanting and looking for vacation properties, right? And this makes it really interesting in terms of real estate. We are always in the top 10 of the most interesting destination worldwide to invest in real estate, in the real estate market. All this also translates in very interesting returns on investment. We are talking about 8% net per year that we are seeing after delivery of the property, whereas we are talking about 35% of appreciation of the value of the property over the first 24 months in the pre-sale market. In the area, we manage mainly pre-sale projects, and the majority of them are pre-construction. And during the time of the 12 up to 24 months of the pre-construction, we can see a 35% appreciation of the value of the property. So just to give you a quick example, we could potentially buy a property at $100,000. At delivery, the value of the property will be already $135,000. And on top of that, we also need to start to consider return of investment generated by vacation rentals. All these numbers, all these tourists, and the growth that the area is seeing really attracts the attention of big investors from all over the world. We are talking major international groups wanting to invest in the area because they see the potential of this region of Mexico. We have big investments from the Ritz-Carlton Group. Royal Caribbean invested $550 million in Quintana Roo, Nickelodeon Group, Louis Vuitton, just to name some of those that invested in the area in the last couple of years. On top of that, also the Mexican government is investing heavily in the area. The Mexican government is investing more in this area of the country more than any other region of Mexico. And obviously it's because we mainly live of tourism and we want to offer the best experience possible to the tourists that visit Quintana Roo. So they just delivered a new fast train line that connects all the main cities in Riviera Maya and obviously helps tourists to travel all around this part of Mexico. Apart from the Cancun International Airport, we now also have a second international airport, which is Tulum International Airport, with 1.5 billion USD invested to build this project, and with over 1 million tourists that travel to Tulum just in its first year of operation. On top of that, the government is investing a lot in terms of amusement parks, like the Jaguar Park, for example, and a lot of new infrastructure coming in the area, always to improve the experience of those visiting this region of Mexico. Here's a bit of a question that we get quite often. Is Riviera Maya safe? And the answer is absolutely yes. It's a very multicultural region. We have people living here from all over the world. I'm originally from Italy. I moved to Mexico 3 years ago and probably was the best idea I had. And I definitely don't regret it. I feel very safe. And obviously in this region of Mexico, we get more controls and it's much safer than anywhere else. Because again, we live with tourism, so we always want to make sure that our tourists, the people that visit this region of Mexico, they have the best experience possible. And also sometimes it's a bit of a misconception and a false idea that we have of Mexico, because if we look at data, Mexico really ranks at number 12 amongst the, in terms of the safest countries in the world. Mexico is number 12, and USA, for example, it's ranked number 10 in terms of firearms related murders. So it is definitely a perception that is something that probably comes from propaganda. I'm not sure where it comes from, but definitely this area of Mexico, absolutely safe. And you will have to experience by yourself. But I guess like I always traveled as a solo traveler and always had the best experiences here, to be honest. Super. So again, here was just some more data about this gun-related death. So it, again, is just a perception that we have of Mexico being unsafe, because if we look at actual data, as we can see that it actually stands beneath the United States and other areas of the world that are not considered unsafe. So it's definitely very safe. Any questions so far?
No, you're doing wonderful. I just want to add that that's how I fell in love with the place. I was doing a solo travel and stayed there for close to a month, and it was wonderful and fantastic. So I encourage anyone to do it.
That's correct. Super. So we're just going to be checking today a very specific destination in Riviera Maya. So just to have a close-up of the region of Quintana Roo, which is all this area of Mexico. When we talk about Riviera Maya, we refer the space that goes from Cancun and Isla Mujeres down to Tulum. This is the area that we refer to as Riviera Maya. Down south, we also have the area of Mahahual and Bacalar, which are two more very interesting destinations. But when we talk about Riviera Maya, we're just referring to this part of Quintana Roo. And just in this small space, which is about 200 kilometers, we have 2 international airports, just to give you an idea of how many flights we get every single day. So today we're going to be focusing mainly on Puerto Morelos. Every city has its own niche in terms of market that wants to visit that area. I would say that Cancun is probably the most famous one. It was the very first one developed, and it's mainly if the main focus is on all-inclusive resorts. Then we move to Puerto Morelos, which is what we're going to be looking at today, which is more laid back and more residential, I would probably say. And then Playa del Carmen, which is also converting into a bigger city. And also the main focus, I would say, is probably more resort kind of style. And then we have Tulum, which is really popular, has been really popular in the last couple of years. With most beautiful beaches in the world, and also a very diverse market in terms of what we are seeing there. But today we're going to be focusing on Puerto Morelos. Puerto Morelos sits 15 minutes away from Cancun and 20 minutes away from Playa del Carmen, which makes it probably one of the best spots in the Riviera Maya in terms of location. We have a quick presentation about this. So definitely one of the best spots to stay right now in Riviera Maya for its location. It offers a very laid back lifestyle, and at the same time is very well connected to the main big cities in the area, which we just saw, which is Cancun and Playa del Carmen. And very close to the main international airport. And it's oh, sorry, I just opened the chat here. And one of the highlights I would probably say it's the natural beauty of this town in between Cancun and Playa del Carmen. Right in front of its coast, we have the second biggest barrier reef in the world after Australia. And so it's probably one of the best spots to do activities like scuba diving, snorkeling, probably one of the best spots in all Riviera Maya. And then we have a lot of cenotes, which is one of the most characteristic natural beauties of the area, and surrounded by nature, even though we are very close to the main cities. We are seeing a constant affluence of tourists in this area. And the reason why it's because, as I just mentioned, we are very close to the main city, but at the same time, we are far away from chaos. So it's perfect for those that want to relax and just want to have a more relaxed experience. And the fact that obviously we have amazing weather all year round also helps. All these tourists that visit Puerto Morelos and Riviera Maya every year obviously grow the demand of accommodation and the experiences here. What is interesting about Puerto Morelos in particular is that being a fairly new destination, I would say, is not as popular as Cancun, and it hasn't been on the map for as long as Cancun and Playa del Carmen. It still makes it quite affordable for those investors that they probably don't have the budget for Cancun or Playa del Carmen. And still, it gives us the opportunity to get very interesting return on investment because it's still all year round getting a lot of tourists and high occupancy rates. Also, all around Puerto Morelos, from Cancun and Playa del Carmen, there's definitely a growth in terms of infrastructure. As I mentioned before, the Mexican government is investing heavily in the area. We have there just in these days, they are working on the main highway to make it to improve it. They are developing all around the area, so this calls the attention for a lot of businesses and retail spaces. It is a very safe community, it's very relaxed, it's perfect for families and people that want to retire. So it's definitely a market that is very appealing for those coming, especially during the winter months from United States and Canada. We are seeing a big community of expats that want to live in Puerto Morelos because they have this relaxed and laid back lifestyle, and at the same time they have the proximity to the main city. Also, there they have a lot of outdoor activities that can be done and can do, a lot of cultural attractions all around Puerto Morelos. And also, I would say the lifestyle is probably more focused on a type of market that wants to retire. So we have a lot of golf clubs, polo club, all these activities that retirees really enjoy, and not only retirees. In terms of what we are seeing, the trend in Puerto Morelos, we are seeing that there's a very interesting appreciation in terms of value of the property. Because again, it's a market where we can buy at still a very good price. And at the same time, the market is growing very fast. So we are getting an appreciation rate that is much higher than the rest of Riviera Maya. And this is obviously having a positive impact on the community. So why Puerto Morelos then? Definitely what we just saw before, location is one of the highlights, the fact that we still can buy at a very good price per square meter in this case, and also the lifestyle and the community that is really appealing for investors from all over the world, and especially from United States and Canada. So that's it. So going back to the map, we are talking this part of the coast. Any questions?
Nope, you're doing a wonderful job. We don't have any on the chat, so you can keep going. And
Perfect.
now, main event.
Perfect. So I'm gonna leave it to Laura. She's gonna be presenting us one of our projects in Puerto Morelos.
Thank you, Tali. Hi, everyone. I'm Laura. We are here in the Riviera Maya, as Tali was saying. So this is a very nice project. This is one of our favorite projects here in Puerto Morelos. So this project is called Alush. You guys already saw a little bit of the location. Like Tali was saying, we are only 15 minutes away from Tulum International Airport. We are also surrounded by cenotes, you know, the water holes, like the caverns that we have here that are very unique and very famous in this area. Why? Because we don't find those anywhere in the world. Like we might find some in the Philippines, we might find some in Dominican Republic, maybe in Puerto Rico, but here we have a lot of cenotes. We have close to 2,000 cenotes in this area in Riviera Maya. So it makes it very unique. We have the area that is very famous here in Puerto Morelos, very close from the project, that is the Ruta de los Cenotes. So there's like 30 cenotes at least that you can visit that are close by. And also we have a wonderful location because we are only 2 blocks away to the ocean. But here, the view that you see is because in front of us, there's a marine reserve, like from the government. So it's only one floor. And it means that from the second floor that we have in this project, we will start to see, the ocean view. And this is very perfect because, this marine reserve, it will always be there, this government building. So even though we are 2 blocks to the ocean, we have the best views. This is a project that we have 6 levels. So on the ground floor, we have only the parking. There's parking there. And like I said, we have the perfect location because we are also only about 7 minutes walk to the main area of Puerto Morelos. It means like downtown Puerto Morelos, which is where we have all the restaurants, where we have all the bars. We have the lighthouse that is very famous there in Puerto Morelos. We have the dock where you can take boats, you can go fishing. And of course, like Tali was saying, we have the second biggest reef in the world. So there's a lot of tourism that they come here to enjoy, the beauty under the water. And yeah, in terms of the location, we are also about 5-6 minutes away. So just across of the federal highway, the highway that is connecting Cancun, Playa del Carmen, all these destinations, we have the Mayan train station. So the Mayan train is already operating in this area, and you can just go ahead and take the train, from actually when you arrive from Cancun, you can take the train from there, and you can also take a train from Tulum, so it will connect you to Puerto Morelos. You can go to Mérida, Yucatan. So it's a perfect location, and also super close to the Polo Country Club of Puerto Morelos. Many of you guys don't know that we have a Polo Country Club. So if you yourself are a big fan of the polo itself, the sport, or you like the horses, you can go there and ride horses also. So this is very beautiful destination with a lot of natural beauties. And this picture that we are seeing is the rooftop pool. We have an infinity pool that is 4 meters long, so it's very long, it's perfect. And this is in the rooftop where we have, most of the amenities. Alush 33, this is a project by, a very experienced developer in the area that already had projects in the area that we can also visit. And like I was saying, this is 6 levels. We have in the middle, we have the elevator. This elevator is bigger than the regular elevator, so it means that is perfect for any situation. If we have any emergency, we can fit many things there in the elevator that is in the middle. And this project has 2 towers, so it's the fuego and the water tower, so fire and water. And what we have here is here on the side. Well, first of all, we are facing the ocean, we are facing the coast, and in the back, Puerto Morelos is known by, we have a lot of reserve, like natural reserve, the mangroves that are protected. So we have a lot of jungle. And then from the back, we will have a very beautiful view of the jungle that is protected. So we have on one side the blue ocean, and on the other side, we have the green ocean, which is perfect. Here on the side, we can see a picture where we have a yoga area that is completely outdoors, and we have a beautiful waterfall here on the side. So this is going to be stunning. This is a project that is under construction currently. The construction is going very well. We actually will deliver at the end of this year, and it's going super well. So this is the apartments. We have a total of 44 units in this building. And we have the typology of the 1-bedroom studio that is the most common, or, the most popular layout, or condo that, for the first time buyers. And we also have the option to do an upgrade. So if you guys would like to have a 2-bedroom, we can buy 2 units. We can give you a little discount if you buy 2 units and make it a 2-bedroom. And all of the units that you can see, you have a balcony. If you do an upgrade for a 2-bedroom, we will be placing a hot tub on on the balcony, which is going to be perfect. And we can also have the option to buy 2 condos and make it a 3-bedroom with buying 2 condos. So this is perfect. You just pay a little bit extra in the case if you want a 3-bedroom. We still have units available. Like I said, from the 2nd floor, we start to see a little bit of the line of the ocean. So obviously, the higher you are on the project, the better view you will have. And this is the famous lighthouse that we have here. The beach is very, very beautiful. It's always clean, and the water is just amazing. It's very, very beautiful. It's very interesting because everywhere you go in the Riviera Maya, you go to Cancun, you get to see the sand that is like super like fine and super white. You go to Puerto Morelos, the water is like crystal clear, is super beautiful. You go to Playa del Carmen, is similar because you know we are still in the Caribbean Ocean, but it's very unique here in Puerto Morelos and super beautiful. In terms of the amenities, so like I was saying, on the number 1, we have the yoga space, and we also have on the rooftop, this is where we have most of the amenities. So in the rooftop, we have a poker room that nowadays is very popular to play poker. So we have a poker room where we also have a grill, and we have a TV if you want to watch the game. And we also have an ocean view from the poker room. We have the infinity pool that is 4 meters long. That is perfect with a very nice view. Also on the rooftop, on the ground floor, we're going to have the gym, the fully equipped gym. We have on the rooftop also a pool bar. So we have a bar that is next in the pool. And we also are going to have Wi-Fi everywhere in the building. So if you work from home, you can just use Wi-Fi anywhere. We have a station for bicycles that will be provided to the residents and to the visitors. And very interesting, we're going to have a restaurant on the rooftop that is very convenient if you are thinking of renting, for short-term rental, which is going to be perfect with all these resort style amenities, a laundry room that you can use, and also very special, this amenity that we just added recently, that is there's going to be golf carts. So you can, if you don't want to walk 7 minutes to the main area of Puerto Morelos, you can just take the golf cart and you can go around the city, which is very, very interesting. And of course, you can walk, you can use the bikes, so it's very convenient, this location. Also, the developer just around the project, they are building a hotel that will be delivered before the delivery of this project. And it's a very unique hotel. It's a boutique hotel. And also they already have a bar there that if we have any of the clients that they want to visit the location, we can go there and have a margarita there in the bar. They also will put like kind of like a food truck space where they will have, different restaurants. So this is going to be a very, very nice area. Here we can see some pictures of some of the amenities. As you can see, it's very, very beautiful. From here in the yoga area, we are facing the back of the building, which is the green ocean that we have. And in the poker room, like I was telling you, we are on the top floor and we can see a very nice view of the ocean. We have the bar that is just right there. And we're going to have food and beverage services here in the rooftop. Very unique and very special about this project is because we have some agreements with companies. For example, we have the golf club in Cancun. So we have an agreement with a golf club that is only 18 minutes away from Puerto Morelos. If you have any of your guests or yourself that they enjoy playing golf, we have a 40% discount in the rate, which is very nice, very amazing. And we also have an agreement with El Rey Polo Country Club. That is the only polo country club in the state of Quintana Roo. And it's very amazing because every time you go there, it's just, it doesn't look like you are in this area. It looks like you are completely in a different area. You see a lot of trees, but it doesn't look like the jungle. So like big trees. We have like a big space green space. We have the horses, and sometimes they use the area for, they do international events with the polo club, and they do weddings there. They also have little cabins that you can stay there. So this is a very, very nice place. And in the Polo Country Club, we have 50% off in all the services. So if you want to play polo, if you want to learn polo, if you want to ride the horses, you want to take therapy with the horses, you can go ahead and do that. We are not far from that. We are about 10, 12 minutes away. So it is going to be perfect to be in Alush, as we have all these agreements. There's another agreement that I don't think is here in the brochure, but we also have an agreement. There's a company, it's an helicopter company, that if you want to do private flights or a tour around the coast, if you want to see from the air. So we also have a 30% off if you want to take private helicopter tours, or you want transportation, for example, to Isla Mujeres, Isla Cozumel Island. So this is very perfect that we have here with Alush. Like I was telling you in the beginning, in terms of the location, we are only 2 minutes away from Chedraui Select, which is just right there around the corner. We also, like I said, very close to the lighthouse, 2 minutes away. We are not far from Cozumel Island, so you can also take a little tour, a boat. And here we can see the other amenities and the other destination that I was telling you, 15 minutes away from the airport, 10 minutes away from the golf club. We are 10 minutes away from the newest Go Ground outlet, the big outlet where we have a lot of restaurants and we have a lot of shopping stores. The cenotes route that is only 5 minutes away, and of course our favorite part, the El Rey Polo Country Club, which is very, very amazing to be there. It's a very nice experience. I was telling you guys about the two towers, so the fire on the left and the water on the right. What is the difference with these two towers is that we get to see the clean view from all the units, but the difference is the layout that changes a little bit. So in one tower, you enter, you have the living room, and then you have the kitchen and the living room next to the balcony. So you will have the view from your living room. And in the other one, you enter, you have the kitchen, you have the couch, and then after you have the bed facing the ocean. So this is up to you. If you guys, what do you prefer, to have your balcony next to your living space, or have your balcony when, next to the bed when you wake up, so you can see the view. So you can choose that. And here we can see, like I was telling you, on the water tower, that the living space and the kitchen, they're facing the ocean, so next to the balcony. And here, this is how they lay out. This is kind of like an open space. This is a big studio. We are actually 48 square meter. But if you said, I want my privacy, maybe I have a little kid, we can go ahead and put you the wall if you like, or put like kind of like a sliding door so you can have privacy. We can also add that in the layout if you wish. But some people, they say, I like open spaces, I like a lot of light, so it's up to you. And here are some pictures of how it's going to be looking the views in the layout of the water tower. As you can see, you have your kitchen counter, you have your fully equipped kitchen, you have your closet next to the door in the entrance, you have the bathroom in the entrance, and this is how it's going to be looking like. So this is, of course, if you are in one of the top floors. And on the fire, we just, change the layout. We have the kitchen when you enter, your living space in the middle, and then when you wake up, you will be able to see the view. So it will be up to you. We still have units available in both of the towers. And this is the view of the layout that I think this can be a very good option for the fire. Yes. So in this project, we still have some units available, and we start from 215,000 USD. This is the price. at least when, if you get interested in any of these projects, in this project, what we require is at least a 30% down payment in order to close the deal with the developer. You can choose to give payment during the construction, or you can choose to just give the down payment and the rest when you get the key. So yes, please, anyone, if you have any questions about this beautiful project, please let us know.
Thank you so much, Laura. And I think I am fire.
It's beautiful.
Stunning. Yes, and I know that we do have a lot of golfers in the room too. So, all right, Spencer, if you want to jump back on and you can talk to us a little bit about how we can make this a reality, that would be wonderful.
Yep, perfect. So before I hop into some more fine details on kind of going over basic closing process, I did want to note that for the Alush 33 project, it is going to be multi-phase. So there will be 2 additional buildings. If there are any larger investors, potentially they would be open for someone basically buying an entire building. And that may potentially come with some discounts as well. So definitely feel free to contact myself or Denise if that would be potentially you. We potentially would be putting together a investment group package as well. So even if you don't have the full amount, but you are interested in teaming up, that would be a potential as well to work on that for a future phase. And just a personal note, Puerto Morelos, for those that have not been there, it is very much like a village-like feel right now. So it's not over touristy in that sense. There are less people around. It's very scenic. As you see from the photos, the beach is pretty much pristine and very calm since it's kind of protected in a sense from a lot of the waves. And it's very easy to hire a boat to basically take you out fishing or snorkeling. Basically, they're parked along the coast there on the main beach. And usually that's maybe $20 or $30 for an hour, hour and a half. So definitely very good price point. So let me go ahead, share my screen. So I'm just gonna highlight real quick. So we ended up personally purchasing a property in Tulum. This was in 2020, beginning of COVID. Everyone thought we were crazy, 1, for purchasing in Mexico, but 2, basically in the middle of COVID or beginning of COVID, purchasing something. This is in an area called Aldea Zama, which is the probably still considered the #1 premium master plan within Tulum. It's in between the main downtown area and hotel zone, which is where the beach is accessed. And this was actually an iMexico project. So this is how we originally met with iMexico and kind of developed our working relationship with iMexico. The inside looks like this. So it's very kind of modern, rustic. I like to call it Tulum style since it's very much in line with how everyone likes Tulum, a lot of nature, a lot of natural materials, light and bright. The walls use a material called chacum, so that's something that you might run into if you are going to be looking to purchase on this side of Mexico. And what that is basically is it's a tree sap that they add to a cement, and it acts like an insulation as well as kind of a waterproof agent. So a lot of outdoor pools actually use this as a surface material instead of plaster. So it's kind of cool. And this is kind of the outside of Watal. So on both sides, basically, they have a pool area. So kind of cool. Earlier this year, we basically took delivery on 2 other units. So this is the closest development to the ocean in Tulum that's for private ownership. And basically, it's very difficult to own anything that's basically on the main beach road. You can purchase, yes, no one's going to stop you, but at some point you'll have a title issue and you might lose the property. So this is pretty much the closest. It's a 300-meter driveway, if you look on the left there, which is about a 5 or 6 minute walk to get you to the main beach road. So that's why we ended up purchasing in this location. And this is on the roof. These are actual photos. What was presented for Alush, those are renderings. So I'll be very close to that. But these are actual photos of what's on the roof, drone photos. And then the inside, how we kind of over decorated. So how do we make that a reality? So when Talisa made her presentation earlier, she did mention some of the financial aspects. So one is basically you'll get capital gains, what we call appreciation here in US and Canada. And what that means is if you are purchasing during pre-sale, every basically several units that they sell, whether that's 10 units or 20 units, they basically adjust the prices upwards since they know that the market is going up. So it's very common for someone as a buyer or investor, if they are purchasing a unit pre-sale, by the time that they take delivery on the unit, they're going to have a gain of maybe 20% to 30%, in high cases, maybe more than 30%. For the one that we purchased, that's basically Amera District, which is the project next to the ocean. That one, we had a huge gain on it, and mainly because they don't have any other projects like that. And then once you do take ownership of your property, if you are going to be renting the property out as an investment, there are potential ROI gains with that. And to give an example for the property that we just took delivery last year, we basically start term rental, basically end up and much of it out 20% plus annual return. We do know that going to be the entire year. So we are aiming probably 8 to 10% range once it's averaged out.
Did we lose Spencer? We did, didn't we?
He's muted. He's muted, I think.
I am back.
Oh, you're
Kicked
back.
me off.
Hey.
So if you are renting the properties out, mostly would be a short-term rental, forest area, investment. It is also possible to do kind of what we call midterm, meaning 1 month to maybe up to 6 months, and you would get more income than if you were to rent it out to someone that's basically doing a long term of months or longer. These methods, depending on what the buyer or investor is looking to do, they do generate income. So definitely that's good. When you do go on to sell the property, you want to prepare early. So if you prepare early, there is an option for part of your capital gain, and I believe it's to $250,000. So they will waive that for taxes, and then the rest, of course, you're not going to escape. There's several things in life you cannot escape: death and taxes. So they'll make sure you're taxed, but Mexico does have a tax treaty with the US. So as long as you have paid taxes in Mexico, you have the paperwork. When you do the taxes here in the US, basically you would show that to your tax preparer and you will not get double taxed. There are exchange rate benefits. So if you are purchasing and you understand foreign exchange, there might potentially be some benefits there. During COVID, towards the beginning of that, the exchange rate went from what's usually 1 to 20 to 1 to 25. Or 1 to 18, 1 to 19, up to 1 to 25. So for us on our first purchase, what would have been maybe a $20,000 furniture package, because of the exchange rate favor to the US dollar, ended up being less than $15,000. And a lot of people took advantage of that because their contracts were in pesos. Usually most pre-sale contracts, because they are aimed at foreigners, will be in a dollar contract. So keep that in mind. Talisa kind of went over this already. If you were to purchase something during pre-sale, let's say 100,000, by the time the last unit finishes, would be 135,000 potentially. And some people, they basically are not going to keep their units. So they end up selling their unit right before title records, so they don't have to pay the closing costs. They sell their position. There is a fee to do this with most of the developers, but it's going to be a lot less than the amount that you would be making. So a lot of people basically will cash in before they even take the unit. And in this case, basically, if you put down a 30%, so that's 30,000, you're leveraging 70,000 because that 70,000 is not due until you close on the property. So if you sell the property before you close, you can basically potentially make 35,000, and that's going to be 116% ROI. So your 30,000 is making you an additional 35,000. Many people do this, but many people do want to keep their condos as well. So it depends what the investor is looking to do. I brought up a pricing sheet. This is another project that iMexico is representing, just to give you an idea between the payment plans. So towards the left, you see a 30/70. That is the most basic plan. Basically, you put down a 30% to start your contract. And then in between, it might take 2 to 3 years for the project to complete, depending how early you basically sign your contract. And then at delivery, you pay 70% basically for delivery. But if you look towards the right, there's several different other plans. So there's a 30/20/50, a 30/60/10, and a 90/10. And what that means is basically the two that have 30, that means you put down the same 30%, but the 20 and 60, that basically is what we would call a payment plan. So that 20% or 60% in the construction phase, basically you can make those up in payments. And many developers will call this basically 0% financing, because you're not paying any interest to do this on those payments. And by doing that, they'll give you a discount usually. So you can see basically the 228 for that first ground floor apartment gets dropped down to 215 or 203,000. So this is another way that you can basically buy your equity in a sense, if you do have liquid money available. And then the last line on the right, the 90/10, we don't really recommend that to many of our investors unless they're very advanced. And we basically believe in the project. And most of the projects that we work with iMexico, they're very well vetted and the due diligence is done. So usually not an issue. And what that is basically you're putting 90% down upfront and then 10% at delivery. And you can see right away you get that unit at 190,000. So that's a $38,000 discount right away. So definitely sometimes there's ways to do this. It's not every project. It depends on the actual developer that iMexico is teaming up with. So that is a strategy as well. One of the big questions we get is there financing? So if you're purchasing a property that does meet the pretty much the minimum pricing, usually they want a property that's over 250 to 300,000, then it is possible to get a mortgage within Mexico. Basically they're specialized for foreigner buyers. A lot of them, of course, would be from the USA or from Canada. And they would be using the credit and financial background that the buyer has within USA or Canada. Unfortunately, the interest rates will be a lot higher. So the interest rates would usually be 9% to 12% or more. But this is a possibility. So those that basically do not have a way to access cash in their home country, this is a potential. Same thing, usually you need to put down the 30% down payment and then 70% can be financed. If you already own the property within Mexico, it is possible to do a refinance as well using these type of programs. And usually that will be between a 60 to 70% LTV. So that is a potential. We didn't go over here. Let me turn this off. So within Mexico, basically, there's what we would call a restricted zone. What that restricted zone is basically anything within a 50-kilometer to ocean or 100-kilometer to a national border. So on the north would be us here in the US. On the south would be Belize and Guatemala, I believe. And those would be the restricted zones. So that's about 30 miles and 60 miles if you convert from the kilometers to miles. And you would need to purchase in what's called a bank trust. In Spanish, that's a fideicomiso. And what that means is the bank basically would be the one that is holding the trust for the buyer. So the bank works for the buyer. And it works very similar to here in the US, what we would call a living trust. So it's a separate entity. So once the entity is created, it's very hard to kill. So that's one question we get a lot of is it safe to hold title as a fideicomiso? And I would say most people probably 80, 90% plus of foreigner buyers that are purchasing within a restricted zone area, that is how they are going to hold title. The second question we get asked is, what happens if the bank disappears or goes bankrupt or has issues? Not a problem. Your fideicomiso, your bank trust, is a separate entity. You just take it to another bank to manage for you. So it's very easy. The second method that you can own property within a restricted zone is if you create a Mexican corporation. And this is a lot more complex. Usually we do not recommend this unless someone's purchasing, the example we used earlier. If you're going to purchase the entire second phase building for Alush, it would probably be a Mexican corporation. That'd be a different scenario. But the reason we don't recommend it is because there's a large cost to set up a corporation. There's a large cost to maintain a corporation. So there's a lot of bookkeeping. There's a lot of basically regulations in between. And then, of course, you need to file taxes as a corporation. So there's a lot higher tax rate, of course. So that's usually why we do not recommend. If it is in a non-restricted area, so for instance, if someone's purchasing in Mexico City or Guadalajara, anything like that, those areas, a foreigner can own the title and hold the title direct. So that's the only difference between having something in a coastal tourist location compared to basically central Mexico. So I think that's the main information. So are there any questions? And I know we are at time limit right now.
You did incredible, literally down to the last minute. Thank you, Spencer.
Yeah, no problem.
Guys, if anybody has questions, please feel free to contact us directly. This session is going to be emailed to you in the next couple of weeks. And then just to let you know and remind you again, tune in the last Thursday of every month. We're going to be hosting these sessions monthly. And we really hope that you learned a lot today, that you learned something new, and that you want to go visit. And if you do, come with us on the annual real estate trade mission to Mexico. Spencer and I will be your host, and you can see firsthand Alush. And next month, we'll be featuring a different development, so please join us. And Spencer, did I miss anything?
Nope, that was all. And then basically feel free, if we're not friends on social media, myself and Denise are on social media. Talisa and Laura are as well. So feel free to add any of us. We're all good resources for you for whatever you guys decide you want to look into.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And once again, thank you, White Mexico, Laura, Tali, Spencer. Appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.